You are too easy to read, too eager to please, too quick to smile. And whether you realize it or not, every time you walk into a room, your body is already apologizing for your existence. You think people don't notice these things. They do, instantly. Before you speak, before you act, before you even sit down, the room has already decided who you are. Safe, harmless, predictable, not dangerous, not important, just there. And once that judgment is made, it is never revisited. You don't grow out of it. You don't earn your way out of it. You are placed into a category and left there. The category of the polite man, the agreeable man, the nice man, the one who means well, the one nobody fears losing. You are tolerated, and tolerated men don't rise. They don't lead. They don't shape outcomes. They slowly disappear, first from serious conversations, then from real opportunities, and finally from relevance itself. Here is the part nobody has the courage to tell you. You were not born weak. You are not inferior. You are leaking power. Constantly. Every unnecessary smile leaks it. Every time you nod when you disagree leaks it. Every time you explain yourself to someone who did nothing to earn that explanation, you bleed authority. You traded your edge for acceptance. And in that trade, you taught the world exactly how to treat you. This is not a motivational video. This is not about confidence, positivity, or self-esteem. Those are comfort words for people who want to feel better without changing anything. This is something else entirely. This is a psychological reconstruction. We are not adding confidence on top of who you are. We are removing the behaviors that mark you as harmless and replacing them with a presence people cannot immediately understand or control. You are about to learn 9 psychological laws that change how people perceive you before you open your mouth. Laws that alter how people behave around you without you asking for respect. Not through aggression, not through volume, but through silence, restraint, and control. Through becoming unreadable in a world that survives by reading weakness. Understand this clearly before we continue. Once you cross this threshold, there is no comfortable return. You will not laugh to fit in. You will not explain yourself to be understood. You will not apologize to make others comfortable. The warmth of being one of the guys will disappear. In its place will be distance, tension, and respect. People will treat you differently, not because you demanded it, but because they no longer know where they stand with you. If that makes you uneasy, that is not an accident. This path is not for everyone. Most people prefer the safety of being liked to the risk of being respected. If that is you, leave now. Nothing here is for you. But if you are tired of being readable, tired of being manageable, tired of being overlooked while louder, weaker men move ahead of you, then stay. You are not about to become more confident. You are about to become psychologically untouchable. Let's begin. Law 1. Kill the nice guy. You were told to be polite. You were told to be nice, to smile, to get along. And you believed it. So you made yourself small. You made yourself agreeable. You made yourself safe. You thought the world would repay you with love. It didn't. It repaid you with silence. Because what no one told you is this. Nice is not strength. It is not strategy. It is submission, dressed in politeness. The nice guy is not respected. He is used. He is tolerated. He is ignored. He exists in the background of other people's stories. He plays the role of the helper, the backup, the extra, and the more he smiles, the more invisible he becomes. There is a reason the rule breakers win. They do not seek permission. They do not soften their voice to be accepted. They do not apologize for breathing. And so the world, by instinct, defers to them. Power doesn't flow toward those who follow rules. It flows toward those who shape them. The truth? You've been programmed. Since childhood, they trained you to believe that if you are nice, the world will be nice in return. But life is not reciprocal, it is competitive. And those who signal weakness are not protected, they are preyed upon. To kill the nice guy, you must first see him clearly. He's the one who laughs when nothing is funny. He's the one who says yes before thinking. He's the one who explains himself to people who don't matter. He's the part of you that believes likability is currency, but it isn't. In the economy of power, likability is a discount sticker. It tells the world you're on clearance. You don't need to be cruel, you need to be civil. And there's a difference. Civility is calm, it is precise, it is rooted in self-respect. It holds the door open, not to be thanked, but because it reflects who you are. But beneath that calm, there is no smile that begs, no nod that pleads. There is steel. Once you stop trying to be liked, something strange will happen. People will feel it. They won't know what changed, but they'll sense a shift. You'll look them in the eye a second longer. You'll stop agreeing just to keep peace, and the air between you will tighten, not because you became dangerous, but because you stopped hiding your edge. Law 2. Master the vacuum of silence. There's something uncomfortable about silence. Most people run from it. They fill it with nervous chatter, fake laughter, or constant explanation. Silence, to them, feels like exposure, as if stillness will betray their insecurity. So they talk. They talk fast. They interrupt. They try to keep the air moving, terrified of what might emerge if things go still. But the man who understands power moves in the opposite direction. He doesn't fear silence. He weaponizes it. Because silence is not empty, it is a mirror. And when you stand still, when you say nothing, when your eyes hold steady and your mouth stays shut, people begin to see themselves. They begin to feel their own noise, their own chaos, and they don't like it. So they fill the void. They overspeak. They overshare. They negotiate against themselves just to break the tension you've created by doing absolutely nothing. And while they're flailing, you're collecting data, reading weakness, testing their boundaries, all in the silence between words. Most people think dominance is volume. It's not. It's control. It's the man who waits a beat too long before answering. The man who lets a question hang in the air, unanswered, until the other person feels the weight of it. The man who slows his speech, not because he's unsure, but because he expects the world to wait. And when he's interrupted, he doesn't fight for the floor. He simply stops. He watches. He lets the rudeness hang in the room like smoke. And then, without raising his voice, without even flinching, he continues from the exact same spot as if nothing had happened. Silence is tension, and tension creates gravity. Gravity pulls people in, not because you asked for attention, but because you earned it by withholding it. Speak less, speak slower. Let the silence speak for you, and watch the room bend toward your pace. Law 3. Starve the golden calf of validation. Validation is a drug, and like all drugs, the first hit feels good alike, a compliment, a pat on the back, but it doesn't last. You chase the next one, then the next. And before long, your sense of self isn't built from within. It's hanging on the words of strangers, the emojis of followers, the fleeting approval of people who forget your name by morning. You check your phone like it's a mirror. You scroll to see yourself reflected in other people's reactions. You fish for praise in conversations. You explain yourself to those who don't matter, hoping they'll nod, hoping they'll validate your worth. But every time you do, you shrink. You become smaller than you were, because power does not ask for permission, and it never explains itself. A man who lives on validation is easy to own. Compliment him, and he performs. Insult him, and he crumbles. His identity is public property, vulnerable to the winds of opinion. But the man who terrifies, he knows who he is. So when they flatter him, he doesn't swell, and when they mock him, he doesn't shrink. He remains, unmoved, untouched. This is not apathy, it's sovereignty. When your self-worth is rooted inside you, you stop playing the social barter game. You stop saying, "Do you like me?" and start living, "This is who I am." And people, even the manipulative ones, feel it. They try harder, they push more, they escalate to provoke a reaction. But when you give them none, when you meet their test with indifference, the game ends. They have nothing to push against. That silence, that stillness, that refusal to dance, that is where power lives. Validation is for the uncertain. You are not uncertain. You are not waiting to be seen. You are here, and that is enough. Law 4. Posture of the apex. Your body is not neutral. It speaks before your mouth opens. It announces you before you've said a single word, and most men don't even realize what it's saying. They slump, they shrink, they cross their arms like shields. Their shoulders curl inward, their eyes dart, their spine folds. They think they're just being casual, but their body is whispering, "I do not belong here, please don't hurt me." And the world listens. Because posture is more than comfort, it's authority in physical form. It's geometry that signals either dominance or submission. And the apex male, the psychologically dangerous man, understands this. He doesn't puff his chest like a clown. He doesn't fake swagger. He simply takes up space like it belongs to him. He sits with presence, weight evenly distributed, arms open, movements slow and deliberate. He walks with purpose, never yielding his line. He doesn't scan the room like prey. His eyes move slowly, resting, absorbing, choosing, and when they land on someone, they stay, not to intimidate, but to anchor. Because in a world of scattered energy, focus is dominance. People can feel this shift. It's not arrogance, it's vector. You're moving through the world like you own your trajectory. You don't lean in, you don't hunch over to listen. You let others adjust to your frequency. And when you stand as if gravity has chosen you as its center. The posture of the apex is not aggressive, it's composed. It says, "I am not hiding, I am not begging, I am not performing." It reveals no desperation. And that absence, that void, is where awe begins to build. So the next time you enter a room, do not ask it for permission. Walk in like you built the damn place, and watch how it rearranges itself around you. Law 5. Withdrawal of supply. You think being available makes you valuable. That replying fast, showing up everywhere, always saying yes, proves your loyalty. But it doesn't. It proves your desperation. You've been tricked into thinking attention is free, something you can give endlessly without cost. But in reality, attention is currency. And the moment you give it away too easily, you devalue yourself. If you're always there, you are never missed. If you're always speaking, your words are never sought. The dangerous man understands this. He doesn't flood the market with himself. He becomes scarce, not by accident, but by design. He knows that the person who is most willing to walk away controls the terms. In conversation, in negotiation, in relationships, if you are afraid to lose something, it already owns you. So he walks. From people, from parties, from praise, not rudely, not dramatically, just quietly, strategically. He exits while the energy is still high, leaving others reaching for more. And in that unfinished moment, a question forms. Where did he go? Who is he with now? Why did he leave? Mystery is born. And in that mystery, value grows. Not because he said anything, but because he didn't. Not because he stayed, but because he left before they were done with him. Power is not in presence, it's in absence, in the spaces you don't fill, in the invitations you decline, in the silence after you leave. The man who is always available is background noise. The man who disappears is remembered. Law 6. Competence is the only real confidence. Confidence without competence is a costume. You can fake the walk, you can fake the tone, you can memorize the scripts and the swagger, but the truth always comes out when the pressure hits. Because confidence that isn't rooted in mastery will always collapse under stress. The man who is truly terrifying doesn't need to act powerful. He doesn't need to declare it. He is powerful because he has proof. He knows, and knowing is the difference. Knowing comes from hours others skipped, from sacrifices others avoided, from failures he didn't run from. He has been broken, corrected, sharpened, and now, when the room tilts into chaos, when others stutter and freeze, he steps forward, calm, focused, ready. Because he has done the work. Competence doesn't just protect you, it radiates. People feel it, they lean toward it, they defer to it without realizing why. And when you speak, they listen, not because you shout, but because when you talk, things get solved. It's not about being the best at everything. It's about being undeniable at something. Your craft, your insight, your calm under pressure, your ability to see patterns no one else sees. A man with competence doesn't fear being challenged. He welcomes it, because every question is another chance to prove the truth. He's not performing. He's built for this. And when people realize that your silence isn't empty, your eyes aren't bluffing, your stillness isn't hesitation, they treat you differently, not with affection, with deference. So stop chasing external power signals. Build internal certainty, not with affirmations, with action, because the world doesn't need more men who look confident. It needs men who are. Law 7. Willingness to be the villain. Somewhere along the way, you were told that being good means being agreeable. That kindness means saying yes. That success means being liked. So, you've spent your life avoiding friction. You say yes when you mean no. You soften your words to avoid offense. You make yourself smaller so others feel bigger. And in doing so, you become invisible. But here's the truth that nobody told you in someone else's story. You are going to be the villain, not because you are cruel, but because you chose yourself. You chose your focus over their distractions. You chose your peace over their chaos. You chose your values over their approval. And that, to them, is betrayal. Because people who are used to walking all over you will always call it rude when you finally stand up. The man who terrifies is not afraid of being misunderstood. He knows that to draw clear boundaries is to risk rejection, and he accepts that. He does not beg for forgiveness for doing what is necessary. He does not flinch when called arrogant, selfish, or cold. He just nods and continues. He knows that pleasing everyone is impossible, that every yes to someone else is a no to himself. So, he reverses the equation. He chooses to disappoint others if it means protecting his time, his energy, his trajectory. When someone asks him to sacrifice his standards, he declines without an essay. When someone tries to guilt him, he doesn't defend. He lets them call him what they need to call him, because he doesn't need their version of the story. He's writing his own. LAW 8. Emotional control as strategy. Weak men leak emotion. They over-explain when challenged. They lash out when disrespected. They get rattled when ignored. Their feelings sit on their face, raw, visible, uncontrolled. And people read them like books. But the dangerous man is unreadable not because he feels nothing, but because he doesn't react on cue. He understands that emotion is not something to suppress, it's something to command. He doesn't let his mood dictate his actions. He lets his mission dictate his mood, and that shift changes everything. When insulted, he doesn't flinch. When praised, he doesn't glow. When provoked, he doesn't bite. Because he's not here to win arguments. He's here to win positioning. His face is a mask, calm, neutral, intentional. His tone is measured, not flat, not robotic, but deliberate. He chooses when to smirk. He chooses when to raise an eyebrow. He chooses when to speak, and when silence says more. This emotional control doesn't make him less human. It makes him more sovereign, because he's not dragged by every wave that hits him. He's not a puppet of other people's energy. He stands still while the room spins. People can feel this. They can't read him. They can't predict him. And that unpredictability unsettles them. It makes them cautious. It makes them curious. It makes them respect him, even if they don't understand why. There is nothing more terrifying to a manipulator than a man who refuses to react. Because reaction is leverage, it's control. And when you take it away, they are left holding nothing. So train your face to be still. Let your mind be still. Let your emotions obey you, not because you're suppressing your humanity, but because you're no longer handing it out for free. Law 9. Craft the shadow and light. You've been taught that transparency is virtue, that openness is strength, that sharing everything, your past, your pain, your plans, makes you relatable. But it doesn't. It makes you predictable. And predictable is forgettable. In a world obsessed with oversharing, mystery is magnetic. The man who says less, who reveals little, who moves with quiet precision, that man captures attention not through volume, but through absence. He becomes a question people can't answer, a tension they can't resolve. He doesn't post every thought. He doesn't announce every move. He understands that power lives in the unknown, in the half-story, in the withheld detail. He shows enough to be felt, but never enough to be mapped. People ask where he goes, what he's thinking, who he really is, and he lets them wonder, because when they're wondering, they're watching, and when they're watching, he controls the frame. To become terrifying, you don't need to be loud. You need to be unreadable. You need to stop offering explanations. You need to stop turning your soul into content. You need to create darkness, not evil, but shadow, depth, layers. When you do, you stop being a man they understand. You become a force they study. You've now seen the blueprint, 9 psychological laws that do not just boost confidence, but redefine presence. Kill the nice guy. Speak through silence. Cut the need for approval. Stand like you belong. Withdraw your attention. Master your craft. Accept the role of the villain. Control your emotions like a weapon. And finally, let them see only what you allow. This isn't self-help. This is self-construction. Most men will never walk this path. They will choose comfort over clarity, likability over leadership. They'll keep nodding, keep smiling, keep shrinking. But not you. Because now you know the cost of being liked. You've felt the weight of being overlooked. And you've seen the face of the man who does not apologize for existing. You've seen what it means to become psychologically untouchable. From here, the road doesn't get easier. It gets cleaner, sharper, lonelier, but also more sovereign. Because when the jokes stop, the real conversations begin. When the invitations fade, the real opportunities arrive. And when they stop calling you the nice guy, they start calling you when it really matters. So walk slowly, speak precisely, withhold freely. Let them wonder. You are no longer one of them. You are the reason they look twice.